This is part 4 of the Conscious Hour. A peace plan. Could there ever be a peace plan? I'll give you my answer. No. And don't forget, we're coming up on October 7th. So if there was going to be a peace plan, like there was supposedly going to be ceasefires and permanent ceasefires, 2 years later, the track record shows clearly there is no intention of the Zionists to back down on their total ethnic cleansing of the entire area so they can build a future of high rises and Viva Las Vegas style for the uber rich. So listen to what Professor Morandi and Nirma are looking and thinking about. And it's not good because there's only one way out of this: war. War. It'll be the worst war that we've ever witnessed in modern history, I believe. What's coming? It's going to shock everybody, folks.
Yeah. So the two-state solution was always a facade, and the West knew this. The Europeans knew this. This was just to buy time. It was just to make the problem go away, so that the Israeli regime could do what it does silently. Western media and or use this in order to be apologetic and to draw attention away from the reality in Palestine. Because as we know, this did not begin on October the 7th. October the 7th was a reaction to many decades of genocide and slaughter and murder. And those who tried to use October the 7th as a tool to help the Israeli regime, they are genocide enablers. And they know it. By now, they all know it. I remember when I was on I'd go on television like many others and they'd speak about October the 7th. After many weeks and months, they all knew that the whole beheaded babies and rape allegations, they were all lies because they couldn't produce any evidence. There were no names or no footage. There was nothing. There was no footage at all. But they continue to repeat it, and they still do because they are genocide enablers. They are partners in this Holocaust. They are a part of this extermination campaign. Every single one of these journalists and politicians and elites and think tankers and diplomats that use this lie, and we're approaching October the 7th, so you're going to see this a lot in the coming days. They are all genocidal. They are all partners in this genocide. Each and every one of them who uses this is a genocide enabler.
We had New York Times reported based on a new poll, 7 out of 10 American voters under 30 oppose additional economic and military aid to Israel. I think this is the crucial point for Israel and what's going on in the United States. Huge changes are happening. With the case of Charlie Kirk, you see the guy who's replacing Charlie Kirk is so much pro-Israel, and they're trying to reshape the movement to influence these people that New York Times is talking about. And do you think that the project will be successful? Are they going to be able to do that?
No, because Nima, Americans are now recognizing that Zionists control them at home as well. They're in charge. They own America, and therefore they own them. They're not allowed to even use TikTok. The information is going to be controlled. The way in which they speak will be controlled. Academics will not be able to speak anymore about what? About the Holocaust, about ethnic cleansing, about ethno-supremacism. These are off limits. It's not about, like, I don't know, the United States, the injustices that they do at home, or I don't know, violating someone's rights or killing an African American person because of his color. Or no, this is like institutional racism, open racism, ethno-supremacism is out there in the open, and extermination. that's being carried out with American weapons and American political support and media support. And ordinary Americans, if they say we don't like this, they get into trouble. And so now they don't have, they've lost their freedoms, and they're in the process of losing their freedoms because of Zionists. So not only is this about Palestine and about a genocide that's being done with their taxpayer money, but it's also impacting the way they live in their own country. So I think every single day that we move forward, this is going to get worse for the Israeli regime. And that's why the situation is so difficult for Netanyahu. And that is another reason why I think Netanyahu will move toward to attack Iran. And you will see how Western media will justify it. You will see how they speak about sleeper cells. Remember that? How CNN and some other media outlets were talking about how the Iranians have sleeper cells in the United States, and how they. So what CNN was doing, CNN, which hates Trump,
The boogeyman's coming
they
after
were
us.
demonizing Iranian Americans in order to justify a genocide, in order to create fear in America, so that Americans would not question the war, the unprovoked war against Iran. So CNN is just as horrible as Fox News, but it's just maybe a bit more sophisticated, less bombastic. But and these Iranian Americans, you know as well as I, many of them have always been non-political because they don't want to get into trouble. But now their fingers pointed at them, and many of them don't even have, they're married to non-Iranian. They don't even speak Persian at home. Their children don't speak Persian, or their parents were from Iran. And so all these people are somehow accused. Why? For the sake of the Israeli regime. That's CNN. That's not Fox News. So the next time the Israeli regime attacks, you're going to see the same thing. You're going to see Sky News justify it. And when they strike apartment buildings and slaughter and massacre people, and let's say some official is there, they're going to call this an intelligence coup. They're not going to call it a massacre, a war crime, because they're all in it together. So but people are waking up to this reality. People are seeing through this. It's getting worse for the Israeli regime. The more they try to tighten the screws, shutting down TikTok, young people will become more hostile. And by trying to replace Charlie Kirk, regardless of who he really was and who killed him, and that all that aside, when they try to replace him with someone who's a more rabid Zionist, it's not going to help. It's going to make it worse. As I said, these people, remember early on, and I think I said that these people are becoming increasingly irrational. The empire, as it declines, they're becoming more irrational, more foolish. And the way in which they treat their own people is becoming more foolish. So it's not going to end well for the regime, but it's going to be dangerous. This is a very dangerous phase. Any sort of outrage could take place, but Iran is ready. And Iran, the axis of...
And so we're boxed in, folks. Netanyahu will not stop. Trump will not stop. So here we go. Full-fledged war, and it won't be like anything you've seen broadcast before. Because when the resistance hits, I don't believe they're going to do it separately. I think it'll come a coordinated attack. And then what will Israel do? They've got nuclear weapons. It's the Conscious Hour, folks. Tune in, turn on, spread the word, share. Please tell people to tune into the Conscious Hour. It's the only one out there talking about solutions. The rest of them are just reporting the drama. Thanks for tuning in.